Ooh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the show. Today, I'm sitting with Caitlin Will. Caitlin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited to have you on. Talk about what is going on with regards to sales, relationship with marketing, how that's evolving, the boundaries between those departments. What does that look like? And also get into really how to keep the band together when things maybe don't go as perfectly as we thought, keeping morale
hmm
up. Really, how do we do that? And what's our responsibility as marketers and leaders within our company? But
hmm
before we get into all that, I want to let you set the table for the listeners. How did you get into marketing? Was it always the plan? Were you an accidental marketer? Like, walk me through your journey.
No, it wasn't accidental. I think I was like 17 when I decided I wanted to go into marketing. Makes no sense, but I don't know. I was in like creative and artistic things as a young person, and um, just wanted to have that creative side in my work. And so went to Boston University and like majored in advertising. You can do that there, and then spent 10 years working at ad agencies and digital marketing companies and had a blast, um, and wanted to kind of just get a change of environment and take everything I learned working on so many different business models and so many different marketing challenges and go just apply that to one company. So I went over to a B2B SaaS company in Boston called Athena Health. I never really turned back to agency life. Stayed in marketing, evolved my marketing roles, but fell in love with B2B, fell in love with SaaS, and haven't left since.
I love it. And it is interesting, right? Like, I mean, I'm in the agency world, we're an agency, but like you
hmm
are pulled a million different directions, a bunch of
You
different
really are.
clients. And I always, it's like the grass is always greener thing where I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
if I could just focus
Yeah.
on one project.
Yeah. No, I mean, I watch some of the work some of my former peers are doing still in the agency life. I'm like, oh my God, they're having so much fun. But I feel like for my like professional career, I wanted to sink my teeth into a business and then solve problems with marketing, um, versus just being told which kind of problems I get to solve on the agency side.
You said something there really interesting. You said it looks like they're having fun, and that's what I want to segue right into. Um, how the appearances in B2B and B2C, but of companies is so, everything is cherries and rainbows. We're
hmm
grinding like blah, blah, blah. We're doing this. We hit this metric. And it's
Yeah.
all, can sometimes be hot air,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When behind closed doors, like let's not play. COVID screwed a lot of businesses and like hurt a lot of bottom lines. And
hmm
there were layoffs that happened at companies.
Oh
Like
yeah.
things were real. So I want to talk to you now about how when things maybe go, you know, things went left for the whole world there. How do you keep morale up within the company, or what is something that you all have done to be
Yeah.
like, hey, let's really like let's tighten the bonds and let's
Yeah.
go through the mud together? Is there anything that
Yeah.
you all have experienced or that you can kind of talk
Yeah,
about?
it's like way harder in this remote world, too. I mean, to when in prior lives when we were all working together and morale was tough, you could do things and they were real physical, tangible, tangible is the word I'm looking for, things, and they could have an immediate impact, right? A conversation with someone, looking somebody in the eye and relating to them and touching them and like being able to be there for them. You can't do that for vast majority of our employees. Most of our employees here are still remote, um, and happily so. But it definitely hurts when you're trying to communicate that the quarter may or may not have gone the way we envisioned, and the path there was filled with more barriers and challenges than we had planned. I think what we're just trying to do, and our CEO does it really well when he gets the company together, is he just keeps us all focused on our mission and our principles at the company, and really just tries to just acknowledge the truth of the matter, which is if we had a good quarter or a bad quarter, acknowledge what's happening out there and not sugarcoat it. It is, but we're that is behind us. We've talked about what we've learned, and now we're just everyone just stay focused on the future. And so trying to paint the picture of the future while acknowledging where we're all sitting is so important. If you don't acknowledge it, or you sugarcoat it, or you try to make it seem like it wasn't as tough, or as you're not putting yourself in the shoes of some of your peers, um, then that stuff's just going to like continue to fester. And even if you succeed in the next quarter, there's still going to be stuff festering. So I think just airing it out and putting it out there and talking about it, but painting the vision. You just got to keep painting the vision of what's going to happen next, and how we're going to get there, is so important too.
That's crucial, right? And that's that difference between positivity and optimism, right? We lose an
Yeah.
account, let's say at the agency, and I come in and go, "It's okay, things are good," and it's like, look, my team's not dumb, right? Like,
Yeah. No. Right. Yeah.
like they know what's
Yeah.
up. They know we lost the account.
Yes.
So instead of being like, "All right, we lost the account, but we're good. Here's our plan," you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
and like let's tighten up together. We got this. Like we can
Yeah,
do
and
it.
it can sometimes be a booster to morale, because it's like, you're not going to get me down. I'm going to
Mhm.
go at this. We're going to get at this together. That can help too. It's just doing that in this remote environment. We're still trying to figure that out. How do you get those messages across and re-rally the troops when you're doing it in a group Zoom? Still trying to get that right. I don't know if anyone's gotten that one right.
It's so hard, and like, yeah, I don't know. I've had close to 200 people on this show, and we've talked about remote and things, and
Mm.
everyone's kind of said the same thing. We're like, we're flying by the seat of our pants on this one. Like,
Yeah, I think in 5 years we'll be real good at
yeah, yeah, agreed, right? And now it's like,
it.
is this the right move? I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, well, that's like, yeah, it's so interesting, right? And like, this kind of segues into the next part where we talk about those bonds and the relationships
Hmm.
between coworkers, right? And
Hmm.
kind of regardless of if you're in a company and things are going, a down quarter, up quarter, whatever, the relationship between sales and marketing is
Hmm.
evolving at a crazy, crazy, crazy rate. So
Hmm.
how um how do you manage that relationship? And it's becoming more intertwined, and the roles have a
Yeah.
lot of crossover.
Yeah.
Um, Talk to me about like the communication between those roles and how you all tackle it, or how you come in and, do you interface with the sales team directly? Is it you and
Yeah.
the VP of sales who are like, okay, we got to game plan this thing? Like, walk me through that.
Yeah. The first thing I'll say is that my last job, I had this like opportunity to work with peers in the sales organization who were amazing. And it would like reopened my eyes on what a sales and marketing positive relationship could be. Because I had come from a world where they were kind of siloed, and marketing just did what sales wanted. Um, and that might be a little bit of a harsh way to say it, but there wasn't a lot of like kumbaya going on. And so my last job, it was amazing. We had each other's back. We understood each other's pain. Um, we partnered all the time. We brought each other ideas left and right. And so when I came to Repsley, I knew I didn't want to lose that. So, my relationship with our sales team, I think is like any relationship, like it's evolving all the time. I meet with our chief sales officer. We have a one-on-one once a week where we are just, aligning. But then I meet with him and his team at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Wow.
And the things we cover on are various. It's it could be pipeline, very functional conversations. It could be enablement. So how are we going to make you more successful out there? What do you guys need? Where are your gaps? So we spend at least 30 to 60 minutes a week talking about and enabling. And then I do skip level one-on-one, so I can meet and intimately understand the accounts that we're going to go after. I've in our world, we're primarily account-based marketing. And so marketing is actually assigning the accounts to sales. We're the ones saying, here's the accounts we want you to work, and here's why. But then we're like, okay, and now let's roll up our sleeves and let's go after X. And what do we know about them? And where are your gaps? And what stories can we tell together? And okay, let's go craft some of those stories. And so marketing is doing a lot of the pre-pipeline work. We're like designing, outbound messaging, and we're creating custom case studies for a certain, prospect we're going after. we did, the other day we couldn't get this certain brand that we love to pay attention to us. And so I was like, guys, I'm going to go have somebody on Cameo that this prospect loves, like have them record a message for him and I'm going to send it to you. And then you're going to send it to the prospects. Like all they had to do was hit send on that email. And we did all the work to make sure that whatever that note that was going out to that prospect was personal and meaningful and hopefully inspiring action. So we are just constantly partnering, but because we're constantly, maneuvering into each other's territory, it's an evolution. Some sales team folks on our team are looking to us to kind of help do a lot of that work for them and or partner with them on that. And others are like, I got it. I'm good. I got this. And so we just make them aware of
Mhm.
what we can do and how we can help them. And we give them all the air coverage. But I would say I've been given a lot of liberty to really roll up my sleeves and partner with our sales team in a way that supports each individual. While also I've been given the opportunity to meet with them multiple times a week to align.
And that sounds like it really comes down to the time in, right? I just think about like if sales and marketing had to do a choreographed dance and go and perform it,
Yeah.
they would have to practice and meet up and put
Yeah.
time in. And hey,
Totally.
oh, coach, see what's going on in front of the mirror. You just don't show up one day and expect the dance to go off without a hitch, unless it's the
Yeah.
Macarena all-time top 5 beat dance.
Yeah,
But
right. Yeah.
but yeah, it's like time in matters with people, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of
Yeah.
comes back to that first thing we talked about with like figuring out how to strengthen bonds with through Zoom and remotely, and how do
Mhm.
we do that? And but it really is that time in and getting to hear people one on one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you
The
need from me?
one-on-one trust. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it. And I love it. I never thought I would, when I went into marketing and SaaS, partnering with sales was like not even on my checklist of things that was a priority for me in my professional career. And now I won't go to a company where I can't have that opportunity to build like very powerful sales relationships. If that's not an option or if that's not an environment, I'm not going to go there because
Yeah,
I get so much joy out of that.
and when you're in those company structures where it's adversarial between sales
Yeah.
and marketing, and sales thinks like, oh, marketing, here comes arts and crafts department again, and we're carrying the whole thing. It's like,
Yeah. Right.
that sentiment is
Oh,
always, it's
for
like,
sure it exists. Just not going to be anywhere I go.
yep.
I'll be taking a hike as soon as that. Yeah. So, but I am finding more and more that marketing and sales are blending at smart and, we're fast growing. So I think, and that's not a coincidence. Like we're a very agile team and we're working very agilely and trying to go after the market. And I think the way that we're being so fluid and flexible and meeting each other where it works, is part of why we're growing quickly.
And it's that recognition, right? We're on the same team. We're
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
same team. Here's the
yeah.
goal. And
No ego on this. There's definitely no. I mean, maybe there's more ego on the sales side, but there's very little ego in marketing. I feel that's just my experience. My teams, they're proud of their work, but there's not a ton of ego attached to it.
yeah, it's interesting. I've seen both sides of that coin. I would say mostly yes, but then you do get a CD sometime who's like, we're not
Oh no, I'm not talking about
changing.
agency life. There's
Oh
so
yeah.
much ego in
Yeah,
agency
we're not
life.
changing the art or whatever. And
Oh
it's
my
like, no,
gosh.
we're changing it. Make the font bigger so the customer can read it. Like, let's go. Ship it.
Yeah, I don't miss those egos. I will say that.
Yeah. They're so real. Um, yeah, I love it though, and I think that you're right. This is what's evolving. Like, it's one, hey, we're on the same team. Let's put the time in together,
Yeah.
and let's make this company go. We're all
Yeah.
proud. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, when people are like, oh, work's, not part of your like work and life. They're separate. I'm like, no, they're so intertwined. What's the
Wow.
first thing somebody asks you when you're at a cocktail party?
Yeah. What do you do?
What do you do? Like, and people want to be proud of their job.
Of
So
course.
let's
Yeah.
build an environment where they can be.
Totally agree. I'm 100% on the same page.
Amazing. So now, Caitlin, before I let you go, let people know, one, where they can connect with you online, and two, give us the elevator pitch and where they can learn about Repsly.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Just hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm on there, and I don't do the tweets or the anything else. And Repsly is a pretty fast going CPG tech company. So we help consumer brands execute in retail. And so, yeah, you can go learn all about us. We have tons of amazing brands that we're so proud to work with. Kraft, Dyson, Vita Coco, some amazing shoewear brands. Any brands that really care about their retail presence and want to control it through their field team should be using something like Repsly. So just head up to Repsly. That's repsly.com.
Amazing. And I'll put links to both Repsly
Awesome.
and to Caitlin's LinkedIn in the show notes so y'all can go connect with her.
Cool.
Thanks again for coming on. This is awesome.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. That's it for this episode. As always, I'm your host, Jordan Shelton, and I will catch you next time.